If you're a contractor watching this, don't be afraid to ask what their budget is really early in the conversation, especially if the person can't give you enough information to even ballpark a budget. That's a huge red flag. You go into a conversation with a salesperson and you go in with next to zero information and they give you a budget or a proposal. You got to stay away from that company. I was just talking to a friend of mine. She runs a marketing company similar to mine. We were talking about what to say to prospective clients or potential clients when they come to us and they ask for like a proposal or a budget, but they don't really give us hardly any information. Like this is super common. If you're in any kind of business, especially construction, you've surely been asked 1,000 times like, hey, I want a kitchen remodel. How much is that going to cost me? And you can't answer that question without more information, right? And it happens to me with marketing all the time is like, hey, we have this company and we're trying to hit this new market and we want to do content marketing. And that's all the information they'll give me. And I'll say, okay, well, what kind of budget are you thinking of? And the reason I ask that is because I'm trying to figure out what kind of ballpark we're even talking about. Because if someone comes to me and they say they want content marketing and their budget is $500 a month, then I can very quickly know what my options are. You know, my options are maybe we write a blog post every month, or maybe we make one YouTube video every month, or, you know, we're not going to be able to do a whole lot because that's a super small budget. And so if someone has a budget in mind, I could at least get an idea of what they were thinking. But if someone says, oh, our budget is $20,000 a month, well, now all of a sudden the options open up. And so when I ask for somebody's budget, that's why I'm asking. And a lot of people are afraid to answer because the most common response I get when I ask a potential customer for a budget is, oh, well, that's what I'm trying to figure out is what the budget is. And it's like, okay, well, if you don't have any idea what your budget is, then now I need to ask a whole bunch of other questions to figure out what you're trying to achieve, where you're at now. What do you have now? What do you need to have in order to achieve X goal? What is X goal? And is there a Y and a Z goal and an A, B, C goal? Like we need more information. And it's kind of obvious, but I think a lot of people they don't get that. And so that's why I'm making this video. If you're a contractor watching this, don't be afraid to ask what their budget is really early in the conversation, especially if the person can't give you enough information to even ballpark a budget. And if you're a customer and you go into a conversation with a salesperson or a company who's going to sell you a solution, and you go in with next to zero information and they give you a budget or a proposal, that's a huge red flag. Like you got to stay away from that company because it's like going to the doctor and walking into the doctor's office and him just saying, hey, what's up with you? And you're like, oh, I have some aches and pains. And then he just gives you an antibiotic or something, writes you a prescription. It's like, hey, aren't you going to take a closer look or ask me some more questions? Like, don't take a prescription from a doctor who hasn't checked out your situation. And don't take a budget or a proposal from somebody who hasn't taken the necessary time and asked the necessary questions to figure out exactly what you need to achieve what you're trying to achieve.